Cool. So in this video, I'm going to be like basically explain to you six sort of techniques that I've used in the past 7 years in my sales career that basically allow people to see you as more successful, more confident, and more competent just in your character. Now, I've listened to thousands of sales calls, and every single top performer uses all of these six techniques that I'm about to tell you. When you actually start to put this into your sort of dialogue, you'll see a massive change, and you'll probably see your sales increase. Well, I would say you most likely will see your sales increase. Now, number one thing is the hook, right? So when you're actually having a conversation with someone, you'll see it on TikTok, you'll see it on Instagram, on all these reels. There'll be like a hook in the conversation that'll basically entice you in. Now, when you're actually having a conversation with someone, you might see when you're having a conversation with a friend, say, "Oh, it was so funny the other night. This something happened, right?" And it creates that open loop. It gets people engaged in your conversation, and it's not something that a lot of people use enough, but it can be a highly engaging way of getting someone to listen to what you're going to say. Okay, so number two is slowing down how fast you speak. Now, there's nothing more untrustworthy than someone that sits there and they start speaking really fast, and then when they're speaking to you, they're like, and it's like you can never trust someone when they speak really fast. The reason why someone won't trust you when you speak really fast is because it's almost insecure in a sense. If you think about it, like you're there, you're literally just trying to speak fast just so you can get your sentence out. When it's like if someone interrupts, you just stop, just pause. You make sure you can finish your sentence. You want to focus on the way that you speak. So you want to speak less, listen more, slow down the way that you're speaking. The less that you say, the better. Okay, so number three is tone. So tone is something that again is overlooked, but it's like if you think about it, if I just spoke in the exact same tone and it's just you speak like this, then nobody is going to really listen to you, or you would be seen as unimportant. So you need to make sure that your tone is like when you speak, if you're telling something, maybe it's part of a story, but you're slowing, you need to slow down the way that you speak, or you need to quieten down to, if you want people to listen to a kind of part of the story that's more intense, or you need to like kind of get more excited. And you need to use the way that you speak, the tone, to actually engage people into what you're saying. And when you say something important, then you set in the word. One of my favorite tones that I always use is the reasonable man tone. Now, the way you can think about this is just how would you say something if it was just extremely reasonable? So, for instance, if you were selling life insurance, it'd be like, so what have you got to lose from spending £20 per month on this agreement? You know, it's like, and you say it in a way, it's like in a reasonable way. So it's like anything you say becomes reasonable. And who doesn't like people that are reasonable? Okay, so number four is challenge what people say. Now, this is an interesting one, and you need to be careful with the way that you use it. So, for instance, you need to use it in a way that's positive for someone. So if someone was saying to you in a conversation, like, I've tried to run 5Ks, but, I would never be able to run a 5K in under 20 minutes. And you say, I mean, do you really believe that? Now, what you're doing is you're challenging them, and everyone wants to be challenged, right? But in the right way. If you overdo this technique and you start challenging everything people are saying, then they're just going to get frustrated with you. They're not going to want to speak to you because you're just so disagreeable, and it becomes annoying after a while. However, on the flip side of that, if you just do yes, 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 like Churchill the dog, where you're just agreeing with whatever anyone says, then nobody really wants to speak to you because the conversation becomes boring, right? So you need just the right amount of disagreement in a conversation to actually make it interesting. And one of the best ways that you can do this is actually you want to disagree when someone is self-deprecating. So when they're self-deprecating themselves, saying, "Oh, I could never run 5 kilometers," you say, "Do you really believe that? Is that something?" And then you stand it in a positive way. Whereas if you were to do that on the flip side, and they said, "I could definitely run five," say, "Really? Do you really think you could?" Again, it does work, but doesn't work as well. Another tip as well is listen to TED Talks, read more books. It's about what you take in. The better the words, the better the pronunciation that you take on, the more trusted that you become. Okay, so the last one is basically get rid of all the filler words. That's basically when you're having a conversation, you go like, or kinda, or any sort of word in between sentences. You want to just pause. The best way to practice this is literally just get a camera and film yourself and listen back to yourself and listen to how you speak. And this also helps with the other point as well about your tone and about how you sound. If you just like literally film yourself and watch yourself back, you'll be astonished at how you sound or what you look like. And if you practice this, literally what I'm doing right now, and you do this once a week for a year, I can guarantee you that you'll change drastically from your first video to your last. It's just like anything, you get better over time. That's a big reason why I do these videos in the first place. Always looking to self-improve. But yeah, that's another good tip for you, is to basically film yourself in camera. You can do it with the front facing camera or whatever. Yeah, there's some sort of tips for you on how you can change the way that you sound and how you can basically communicate better. But yeah, I hope that video helped, and I'll see you in the next one.